All right, let's keep the tier list going. Moving on over to second base. This position's a little bit weird. I feel like there's not that many elite second basemen. We might be really debating whether or not a lot of these players are going to go in the good baseball man or right tier. And of course, as always, you can let me know how I'm doing down in the comment section below. Let me know who you agree or disagree with on my tier list. As well as drop a like on the video if you enjoy it and you want to see more tier lists, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. But first, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, SeatGeek. The postseason is coming up, and SeatGeek is giving a special offer to my viewers since you guys have been using my code so often. Giraffe10 is a special code that gives you 10% off your order, whether you are a first-time buyer or not. Basically, nobody else gets this discount. Your boy hooks you up. SeatGeek is also the official ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, so you know they've got you covered when you want to watch your team competing for the postseason. Maybe you're a Mets fan. We got some huge games coming up. You can't miss those. And even if you're not a baseball fan, there are over 70,000 events available every single day on SeatGeek between live concerts, football games, basketball season starting up, festivals, you name it, they got it. And with their SeatGeek score, it's literally foolproof not to get good tickets. Each ticket's rated on a scale of 1 to 10. When you see 10 or green circles, that means it's a good ticket. You should buy those. Good deal. When you see scores lower, closer to 1, or with a red or orange circle, those are ones you should avoid. Not really worth it. And again, don't worry, I said I got the hookup. Use my code Giraffe10 for 10% off any tickets at SeatGeek with a max of $25 off your purchase. All you have to do is sign in or sign up, go to your account, and under promo codes, type in Giraffe10 for that 10% discount. Thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to it. All right, so here are the tiers. Elite, All-Star, Good Baseball Man, and he's starting, and we are going with Andres Gimenez first. Andres Gimenez is extremely confusing because defensively, the dude is elite at second base. I mean, he came up as a shortstop. He could be a gold glove caliber shortstop, but you move him on over to the second base spot, he is one of the best, if not the best defensive second baseman in all of baseball. Now, at the plate, the bat has struggled mightily. There's no power whatsoever, doesn't really get on base. Still stealing some bases, but he's just not much of a hitter anymore. To me, puts him right in the good baseball man tier. He's really, really good with that glove. He is phenomenal, but he is not good at the plate. That makes me think he's just good. Xander Bogaerts. I mean, it's hard not to put him in the IT tier because of what he used to be and how he's playing now. But let's be honest, Xander Bogaerts is still a very good baseball player. I don't think he is an all-star caliber, especially not with how he's played this year, but I'm not ready to drop him down based on just one off season. So again, we're not going to put him in the all-star tier. Defensively better at second base than he is shortstop, but still not a great defensive player by any means. We're going to put him in the good baseball man tier as well. The Padres love a second baseman. Xander Bogaerts is pretty much their main one. Although I think the last couple days, he's actually been playing shortstop. Weird stuff, whatever. He's a second baseman. He's completely fine. Brandon Lau. I think a lot of people are going to be really upset with where I put him, but Brandon Lau continues to be a really good player. The problem with Brandon Lau is he just physically can't stay on the field. Since 2021, here's how many games he's played. 65 and 22, 109 and 23, 91 in 2024. And when you look at those numbers across those games, they're actually pretty decent. His 162 game average is 28 homers, 27 doubles, 87 RBIs with a 760 OPS. And really the last 2 years, he's been a guy hovering around OPS 800 in a really weak lineup. I think for now, I'm going to put him in the good baseball man tier. I don't know if he's in the all-star tier just yet. I'm willing to make a change as we go on later through this video because the second base position is a little bit weak with that upper tier talent, but he's really, really close. Defensively, he is a little bit sketchy, but at the plate, he definitely mashes. One of the better hitting power second basemen in baseball. Oh man, Brendan Donovan, what am I going to do with you? He's another player who I think goes right in the good baseball man tier. Decent little bit of pop this year, 11 home runs. He's got extra base hits, 30 doubles on the season, 61 RBIs. Decent for average. Gets on base, can play multiple positions, is a pretty good fielder at all the positions as well. Like, he's not going to be a gold glover by any means at those positions. Granted, I know he won one, but that was for utility. Should have been Jeff McNeil that year. But he feels like another one of these guys who's just a good second baseman, not really differentiating himself from the rest, which again is kind of what this list is right now. Just a lot of dudes who aren't able to separate themselves into another tier. That being said, I do think Brendan Rodgers of the Colorado Rockies is in a different tier. I am going to put him in I know his offensive numbers, 273 average, 13 home runs, Coors effect a little bit. He is a pretty good defensive second baseman, but overall, I think he is just a bang-on average second baseman, which for the Rockies is quite the improvement on what they've had the last few years. But I think in the terms of Major League Baseball, in terms of second baseman, he just can't go in the same tier as the guys above him, so we got to bump him down one, put him in I. Oh, what to do with Bryce Terang? Because Bryce Terang has been a phenomenal second baseman this year defensively. At the plate, he has slowed down a ton, and a big reason why the power is completely gone, yet again, because he's just not a big power guy. He's stealing 41 bases. He's got a 671 OPS, though. It puts him at an OPS plus 87. Good glove. Oh my God. This is so annoying because WAR-wise, like, WAR loves him. WAR thinks he's fantastic because he does the fielding. He does the base running, but he can't really hit at the second base position. Bryce Turang, we're going to put him in the good baseball man tier. If I'm going to put Andres Gimenez for very, very similar things there, I think we got to put Bryce Turang, who's arguably having a better season. Bryson Stott, this is going to be super dangerous because we are about to play the Philadelphia Phillies in a series, so I can't shit talk him as much as I normally would like to. And to be fair, Bryson Stott has been playing a little bit better the last month or so. So I'm going to put Bryson Stott in the good baseball man tier. He is, again, one of the 15 to 20 best second basemen in Major League Baseball, maybe even 12 to 20. He's in that range with everybody else, but he is for sure not a top 10 second baseman. He is for sure not elite like some people were trying to tell me last year. All I'm saying is Bryson Stott is the player that his numbers have shown us. He was not a 280 hitter like he was last year, and that's when he was a league average hitter. He is a slightly below a league average hitter with the ability to maybe be a little bit better. He's going to oscillate. He's 26, 27 years old. There's really no hate for Bryson Stott. It's just more the people that completely overrate him. He is a fine baseball player. Colt Keith. I think he's eventually going to move up, but right now I want to drop him in IT just because he's really only had like 1, maybe 2 months of being a really good baseball player. Otherwise, the OPSs have been down, hasn't been playing solid baseball. There hasn't been enough consistency in what we've seen from his rookie year to put him in the tier with those other players just yet. Hitting 260, showing a little pop in that bat, but not as much as we'd hope. Again, I think he lines up more with Brendan Rodgers as a player right now. Right now, I'm not saying in the future. Right now, at 23 years old, not the greatest second baseman defensively. I think he's more in this IT tier rather than in the good baseball man. I don't know. You guys can let me know in the comment section. That one might be a little hot. For me, Edward Julien, I think he goes right in this IT tier as well. He was an on-base machine last year. He's still getting on base at a high clip, but the average has dropped a bit. The power's not as good as we once hoped. The glove is not as good as we were hoping. He just maybe isn't an everyday player. Again, I'm not going to give up on him just yet because we have seen basically a 200-game sample size where he's an above-average hitter, not much of a fielder. He gave us great stuff last season, not so good this year. I'm just going to keep it a little bit cool and just say he's aight and not go crazy either way. For Emmanuel Valdez, I mean, it's simple. He's starting. Granted, there are some injuries in this Red Sox lineup right now. You have Romy Gonzalez, who he's kind of platooning with. You had David Hamilton, who was playing a lot of second base. Trevor Story could be one of their second basemen too when he eventually comes back from injury if they don't want to play him at shortstop. He's just not an everyday player, and I don't think there's really more explanation needed. Oh, Gavin Lux. Gavin Lux, what do I do? I think this is probably because I still want more from Gavin Lux. I'm expecting more. I'm waiting for it to happen. I think he's just a completely all right second baseman. I think if the Dodgers get a better option, they will replace Gavin Lux. I think they might be looking to replace Gavin Lux maybe this offseason. He's a good player that I think you want on your 26-man roster, but if he's playing every single day, I don't know if he really moves the needle for you, and I'm waiting for the breakout. It might happen next year. It might happen the year after. He is a good baseball player, but he hasn't shown us enough yet to get me excited really about anything. Gavin Lux is just, I think Gleyber Torres is just kind of all right too. Like, he just doesn't, he's so annoying. He's so frustrating. Like, Gleyber, figure it out, man. Are you going to be good? Are you going to be bad? This year, you've been oscillating. You were good. You were bad. You were terrible. You're okay. The year before, you were great. I don't know what to do with Gleyber Torres, and I'm just getting sick and tired of it. He probably, truthfully, he probably deserves to be in the good baseball man tier. That's actually where I'm going to end up putting him, because that's just me being angry and saying, like, figure it out, bro. But seriously, when is he going to figure it out? Because is this just what he is? Is he just a league average second baseman? Maybe I'm clinging on to the dream, or at least the player dream, because I don't obviously want the Yankees doing anything good, but maybe clinging on to the player height dream that he could eventually go back to being an all-star second baseman. Jackson Holliday, it's almost impossible to really judge him. His 155 plate appearance sample has been terrible, let's be honest, but I'm not going to put him in the he's starting tier because he deserves to be at the major league level at some point. It still might be a little bit too early. 2 years ago, this guy was taking calculus classes in high school. I mean, he went to senior prom, and now he's in the majors playing every single day for a team that is looking to win a World Series. There's a lot of pressure on him. He's hitting 9th in this order. I think he's completely all right this season. I do still think he has the ability to be an all-star in the future. I am not giving up any hope on Jackson Holliday, but to put him anywhere above or below would be criminal and just way overreactive. Love my boy Jeff McNeil. Just got hurt as he's been just crushing it in the second half. The second half, he went back to the old Jeff McNeil. A little bit of pop in that bat, pulling the baseball, hitting for a higher average. That version of Jeff McNeil is an all-star caliber player, but based on what we've seen as a whole, the last couple seasons for Jeff McNeil, I gotta put him in I. He's, again, another guy you would love to have on your 26-man roster because he can play second base. He can play a bunch of outfield positions. He could even play third base if you really needed in a pinch. Jeff McNeil is a valuable utility man, but I think right now, the version of Jeff McNeil that we've seen over the last 300 games or so has been a league league average player. I love Jeff, friend of the channel. Loved what he did in the second half, but I can't put him much higher right now. That would be Mets bias. I'm trying to be less biased with the Mets. Jonathan India, welcome to the good baseball man tier. You get on base, you play good defense, you steal some bags, you have a little pop in that bat, extra base hit machine. I think Jonathan India is a guy who, when he leaves the Reds, I think might have one of those random breakout years like we saw kind of from the Rookie of the Year season. I think he's a really good player. It just never seems to really click fully for a full year. Another guy we're kind of waiting out on. I guess I'm putting him higher than Gavin Lux when truthfully, they're basically the same player. Maybe India's a little better. Maybe that's why I'm putting him good baseball man tier. Whatever. I don't know. Get mad at me. By the way, it's crazy we've gone this long and we don't have anybody in the all-star tier. That's nuts. Second base, kind of a mid-position. Dude, what happened to Jorge Polanco? Seriously, what happened to Jorge Polanco? This guy was so good in Minnesota. I thought this was such a good sneaky pickup for the Mariners. But as it always happens, he goes to Seattle and he just plays terrible. Awful, honestly. I'm not going to bump him down to I, even though he's playing like a guy who's I. I'm going to put him in the good baseball man tier just because we have seen so many years of him being a good player in Minnesota. It would be very overreactive to put him anywhere lower, but this season he is playing like this. Currently, though, as a player, I still think there's something left. Jose Altuve, yes, we did it. He goes even higher, though. He is going to be in the elite tier. Jose Altuve is still one of the best second basemen in all of Major League Baseball. At age 34, he continues to do it. This year, having another phenomenal season, 19 homers, 28 doubles, 62 RBIs with 20 stolen bases, 304 average, 359 on base, 452 slugging, 811 OPS plus at 131. Yes, his glove is taking steps back because he's getting older. He may not have the range that he once has, but the little engine that could. Jose Altuve, still a stud, still elite at the position. Genuinely one of my favorite players. Probably going to shock a lot of you here, but I'm going to put Jose Iglesias in the IT tier. I think he is a very capable major league player, and I think the Mets have struck lightning in a bottle with how good he's playing. I mean, 318 average, 370 on base, 444 slugging, 815 OPS for an OPS plus at 133. Out of control that Jose Iglesias is playing this good, and his hit Latin song OMG is a banger. Shout out Candalita. The song is gas. He's a good fielder. He puts the ball in play. He does a lot of things that the Mets could use, but I think to put him anywhere else in front of these guys that are just, let's be honest, going to be major league starters for a long time, as where Jose Iglesias is probably just going to end up being a role player again next year, to me, goes in the I tier. He's playing well with his numbers because of how the Mets are using him. I just don't believe that the 34, 35-year-old Jose Iglesias is going to keep this up for the rest of the season, for the rest of his career. I mean, we've even seen him slow down a little bit now. Ketel Marte is, without a doubt, the best second baseman in Major League Baseball. Elite, 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 elite. Prior to his injury, he legitimately had a chance to win the National League MVP over Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani's distanced himself a little bit, and granted, he still has the full month of September to show up and maybe give him a run for his money because the Diamondbacks just got crazy hot and it was on the backs of Ketel Marte. And since he's come back from his injury, he has been a little ice cold. He basically missed a month, which killed my fantasy team. But essentially through half the month of August for the season, 120 games, 30 homers, 20 doubles, 81 RBIs, 291 average, 365 on base, 546 slugging, and a 910 OPS for an OPS plus in the 150s. He's up there for the highest in National League F4. Ketel Marte is such a stud. I'm so happy for this guy, one of my favorite players of the last few years. You guys ready for me to spit right here? Luis Garcia is an all-star tier second baseman. This is one of the best second basemen in Major League Baseball, and here's why. He's at least inside the top 10. Defensively, OAA loves him. 80th percentile at second base. Phenomenal. At the plate, he is an above-average hitter. OPS plus at 117 this season, and he had a little bit of a weird stretch at one point where he couldn't hit anything. But you're looking at a guy at second base who's going to give you 20 home runs, 25, 30 doubles, a 280 average, 322 on base, 443 slugging, 766 OPS for an OPS plus at 117. Luis Garcia Jr. is just a good ball player, and people kind of gave up on him because he hadn't given you the numbers just yet. The dude is still only 24 years old. He is one of the younger second basemen in this entire video, and he has played for the Nationals for 5 seasons. He got called up during the COVID year. Really good player. I think criminally underrated. Big Luis Garcia fan. So with Marco Luciano, he's starting because they sent down Thairo Estrada, who has not been good. To be honest, Marco Luciano is someone right now I think that belongs in the he's starting tier, and it's not fair because we've only seen 100 plate appearances of his, and I'm not doing the same with Jackson Holiday, but I'm not as high on Marco Luciano, who basically has the exact same name as me despite a few letters. I don't see it. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know when it's going to turn around. I wasn't a huge fan of his ever since I saw him in the Fall League a few years ago. Incredibly unimpressed. I hate to be a hater of the guy who has the same name as me, but I don't see it. I don't see it right now. There needs to be major changes made to his game, especially at the plate. Marcus Semien. This one is super tough. I think because there is such a difference between Ketel Marte, Jose Altuve, and Marcus Semien, I think I'm going going to also put him in elite, even though he's not hitting well this year, but nobody is on the Rangers. World Series hangover, still playing phenomenal defense at second base. I think he has the most OAA at the entire position. He's just disgusting with the glove. And at the plate, he's become an average hitter this year, 33 years old. Maybe this is the downturn. I'm still okay to put him in the elite tier for now. We will have to monitor what happens next season. We have to see what's going on there. But Marcus Semien is still just a grade above the rest. He is better than Luis Garcia, has been better than Luis Garcia. It would feel disrespectful to put those guys in the same tier. Michael Massey, what do I think of you? He's a pretty good baseball player. Put him in the good baseball man tier. He's a league average hitter. He's a good fielder at second base. He doesn't hit the ball hard, so I really don't know how he has 12 home runs. Like, it is a little bit confusing to me. And he doesn't walk, but I don't know. He just continues to be a good little baseball player for the Kansas City Royals. We'll put him in the good baseball man tier. Michael Stefanik for the Los Angeles Angels. This one's easy. He's starting. Now, granted, it's because Anthony Rendon is hurt yet again, so Brandon Drury's moved to third base, which means Stefanik goes to second because Luis Rengifo, I think, is still hurt. Michael Stefanik's there's just not much there right now, and the Angels are bad. As for Nick Gonzalez, I think he's an okay player. We've seen him hit really, really well, and that's what you're looking for. His bat, that's what he was drafted highly for. That's what you were expecting out of Nick Gonzalez. Defensively, a little shaky at second base. Maybe not his best position. Maybe not a position he plays a lot for the future. Who knows? That's not why you have him, though. You want him to hit, and while he does hit for a high average, he does not walk, does not get on base, puts the ball in play, but not for a lot of pop. Need to see some improvements from Nick Gonzalez for sure. Want to hear something crazy? Nick Gonzalez is older than Luis Garcia. That's insane. This guy's been in the majors since 2020. This guy got drafted in 2020. Nicky Lopez, my king, short king, follower of mine on Twitter. Sorry, but he's starting. I mean, it's the White Sox. We know why he's starting, but he is a bench backup player. He's getting the opportunity every day because of the team he's on, but that really shouldn't be the case for almost any other team in Major League Baseball. Really good glove, not much at the plate. That's Nicky Lopez for you. I really like Nico Hoerner as a player. He feels like the National League Central version of almost Andres Gimenez. Good glove, good speed, doesn't really do much at the plate. Going to be more of a high average guy, less pop in that bat, and he's going to give you a lot of good value because you can hit him ninth in your order and you feel good about it. He's not a guy you want at the top. For the Cubs, that's exactly what he is. He gives you consistency every single day at the second base position with a phenomenal glove, the ability to even play shortstop when Dansby Swanson needs a rest or if he ever gets hurt. Good little baseball player, Nico Hoerner. Otto Lopez, I know defensively his numbers have been grading crazy this year. Watching him play, super unimpressed, and offensively, super unimpressed. I think he's completely right against the Marlins, so cool that they're giving him a shot every single day. You get that opportunity because of a bad baseball team. I don't really see it with Otto Lopez. I think he is going to be a guy who is on major league rosters, but I don't feel like you feel great starting at second base. Ozzie Albies has been hurt pretty much most of the year, and he was off to a pretty not good start, but Ozzie Albies is an all-star caliber second baseman. I know I like to say he's the most overrated player in baseball. Shout out Phillies fans for doing that with Bryson Stott. You took the tier away. Shout out to Luis Arias, who has also taken over that crown. He legitimately is the most overrated one. He'll be on the DH video in case you were wondering, where is he? He doesn't play second base because he can't field. He's a DH. Ozzie Albies, though, good ball player, all-star caliber, good fielder, good hitter, got the pop in the bat, some of the best pop at the second base position. This year, the numbers weren't great, again, due to injury, but last year, 33 homers, 100 RBIs, 30 doubles, 13 stolen bases, 30 homers in 2021. Ozzie Albies is an all-star caliber second baseman. There's not much else to it. I know Will Wagner has the Astros hat on, but he, of course, is playing second base now for the Toronto Blue Jays ever since he was traded. Blue Jays, bunch of injuries, not a lot of great players. Will Wagner's getting a shot. I think he's been a good little ball player. I'm not going to put him anywhere else above Ike just yet because we've seen 77 plate appearances, but he's hitting for a high average, looks to be a pretty good defender over at second base. He could definitely be in the good baseball man tier. It's just 77 plate appearances for a guy with not a lot of prospect pedigree. Tough to rank right now. And then last but not least, we got Zach Geloff, who people were super high on, myself included, but we can see what is dangerous with a player who chases and swings and misses as much as Zach Geloff does. While there were a lot of things to love about his game last year, this year they've taken a step back. That's just going to happen when you play kind of crazy like Zach Geloff does. When you swing at everything, you don't really walk that much, and you chase and you whiff. Zach Geloff's I don't think he's starting tier whatsoever, but I think you need to see him improve. Otherwise, he's in danger of losing that position next season to somebody else in Oakland. So there it is, the second base tier list. I'd love to know what you guys think about it down in the comment section below. Where do you agree with me? Where do you disagree with me? Let me know. Drop a like on the video if you enjoy it and you want to see more tier lists on the channel, as well as subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the content coming at you. Follow me on all my social media, GiraffeNeckMarc. Links are in the description, and that's where I'll wrap up today's video. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you all on the next video. Bye.